everyone, and welcome to episode 5 of the Nerds at Large Anime Gauntlet Spring 2021. I am Jeff Mayo. This man right here with the wine is Darby Hallman.
Waifus and wine.
Yep. And across the interwebs, maybe with wine, I don't know, Alex Boone.
It's a terrible day for rain. Puts on hat.
It's true. It's true.
It is a terrible day for rain. What the hell is that for?
Well, Darby get the reference.
I don't think so.
Shame.
That is a fucking terrible shame.
My credentials on this show have
Been put in the
demolished.
question.
Yeah. I mean, they should have been put in the question to begin with.
Yeah.
In a few hours, the sun will rise, though.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know
Oh,
if that...
there goes one. I can't use that one anymore.
No, well, sorry.
That one's dead. That one's dead. Any reference that we make to any sort of anime is automatically dead as an intro for me. If we mention it once.
You want to destroy any others? Is there any other memorable anime quotes that we could just destroy for Alex?
Yeah, the One Piece rap.
Yeah.
Oh,
Gago,
God.
gago. Dreaming, don't give it up, Luffy. Dreaming, you're up, Darby.
Oh, no.
Dreaming,
No.
Darby. Name the One Piece characters and yell Dreaming.
You gotta believe. Crap, I remember him.
Naruto from the hit show One Piece?
Yes, yeah.
Zolo, don't give it up, Luffy.
Jeff saved
I
this
don't
show.
Okay, guys. On this
Like I said,
show,
it's a terrible day for rain.
we talk about anime. We watch anime. We talk about it, then we watch it.
Yes.
That's the order, yes. No, what we do is we watch anime, come here to talk about it, and before we actually talk about the shows, we decide if we want to scar something, which means to kill it and never have to watch it again, or save it, or, make sure we do watch it again.
Yep, the gazelles, they're charging down
They
below.
are charging down below. And yeah, the way it works math-wise for people who, this might be your first episode or your second, because I don't think I explained it last week. Just in case things weren't clear. If a show gets 2 scars, it is on the chopping block. And if something is tied, then we go to the wheel. But if something gets 3 and then something gets 2, the one that gets 3 takes precedent. Takes priority.
We're running out of chances for the wheel. It's not looking good for the wheel, but maybe next season.
Yeah,
But you never know.
You never know.
You never know. Things could get crazy.
Crazy.
Well, Jeff, I guess without further ado, let's get into it. What episode of 86 was this? I don't even know.
Episode 5.
Oh, we're gonna watch so much 86 that eventually we're gonna get to episode 86.
Ooh.
Like, can that be the last episode of 86? Like, it doesn't matter if they run out of content. They just need to fill in the gaps until we get
Or
there.
they're like not even close to the end. It just stops. It just stops.
Yeah. We actually gave them too short of time frame. It's like, God, we have 3 episodes left. How are we supposed to wrap this up?
Yeah.
Alrighty, Alex, what do you decide as far as the fate of this show?
I'm saving.
Absolutely.
Yep, Dari and I are also saving the people.
Absolutely. I think still continues to be like the big. Me and Jeff were saying like the biggest surprise of this whole thing is that just I'm still at the end of every episode. I'm like wanting to talk about it, and I think especially this one because like we've had a lot of character development episodes with 86, which I actually really like, and I think it's made the action better because it's like they show a little more restraint with when it comes. So when it comes, it's really epic. But this one we got some pretty anime-esque plot twists / like revelations. It's very, very bonkers.
I like the episode as a whole. I don't know if I necessarily like the idea that that it's replicating itself, the army, by the brains of fallen 86ers. Like, I don't know if I necessarily like that, but the rest of the episode was really good.
I kind of like it.
Yeah.
It's
don't
crazy,
know.
but like I don't know. Like it's still up in the air for me. I definitely like. Yeah, it's bonkers. It's bonkers.
It's a weird way to drive it. I'm not saying it's like going to be bad. It's just like okay, that was kind of the weakest way they could have done it. But other than that, everything's great. Everything's really good.
Yeah, I like the way they explain things as far as yes, the Legion or whatever will keep on going, and I think that's a good way to, like, regardless of the way they do it, increase stakes for the show. It's like, oh, besides the whole having to pretty much survive 2 years, I mean, that would still be the stake. Like, these people can die, but also like, oh, they can't just wait this out. That's, if they do or go on with this plan of just waiting it out, they'll probably get wiped out.
It's effectively a zombie show now, kind of.
Yep.
Let's go.
Even funnier because the more trained the 86 is as a pilot, and if they die, the stronger they come back as a mech. And it doesn't even have to be one of them. It can be an infinite amount of that one person's mech, as fast as they can duplicate.
Yep. I mean, it is definitely crazy, but like I'm like slightly surprised by like how, like, when they were first reviewing this, I'm like, okay, where are we going with this? But I will say, like, it made for a pretty cool effect when he was saying, like, oh, you should cut this. It's like, all right, you're gonna regret it. And when like all those like voices started coming, I think that again the audio design in the show is just like really good from top to bottom. Mm-hmm. And I think in that scene, I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And it like sounded like very unnerving and very cool.
Yeah, I was thinking at first that it was Undertaker's or whatever, his memories or something. Because he mentioned his family before
at first,
that. Yeah, and then when the other girl voice came in, it's like, okay, maybe not, maybe, I don't know. Probably more to it being her voice, and then obviously it was, so that was interesting.
I do like it as well, because it also gives more context to how, like, why the other handlers have either quit or committed suicide. It's like, oh yeah, hearing this would kind of drive a person crazy.
Yeah, I was
makes sense.
Yeah, I like that as well, because the way they were like, oh yeah, it's because of this group that they, went crazy or whatever, and then even like when we immediately met the group, it was like, okay, what's this so bad with this group that they're going crazy? And even as we, a couple episodes in, it's like, okay, why? Then this happens, like, okay,
yeah. It's something that on paper it's definitely crazy, and it's crazy in practice too. But it's like the way that we build up here, and the, like, how much like I'm liking the characters and just the like kind of drip feed of the threat of what they're going against. Like I kind of thought this was like a cool revelation or whatever that they could go a lot of directions with, even though it is very bonkers anime stuff. But like I still think it's still. I think that there's still a lot we have left to learn about who they're fighting exactly, because it's still, they've kept the whole Legion and all that like very at arm's length. We've only even seen them like a handful of times. It's been mostly focused on the core group. And so I think like in the fact that they don't even know what they're fighting, because they're like, oh, it'll die off in 2 years. So the guy's like, no, that's never gonna happen. So I think there's more to, like, if there's there's still a group of people controlling them somewhere, or if there's something,
Yeah.
I think it's going to be more than just like AI kill their masters and they're coming here. I mean, obviously, because they're stealing people's brains and like replicating themselves. So like, yeah, there's more to this enemy in some way.
Yeah, and another thing they mentioned, or mystery or whatever they answered here is, because they brought up a couple times, like, okay, yeah, why do they know like the enemy's coming before the handler does with her technology that gives her a better view? Pretty much, it's like, oh, because he can hear voices in his head. The reason,
constantly,
yeah. The reason for it is still kind of vague, so at least it answered a question, but then made another new one that's interesting about, like, I technically died, so I can do this stuff. How exactly that happened and why does that mean he can do it? Who knows?
Yeah.
They also didn't really say explicitly if it's all the 86ers, but at least Ray and his brother both were part of where Legion came from, like the country itself.
Yeah.
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 Curious if like all 86ers came from that country or if it's just Ray and his brother.
Might be like a mix because it sounded like
I'm assuming it's a mix.
Yeah, 'cause it sounds like they kind of mentioned some of the 86 were like in the main walled city and then just kind of kicked out because your hair isn't the right color. Get out.
Right. Yeah, there's definitely going to be more to that civilization, like what happened to them or what they still are now and everything like that, because we've been told so little about it. But in general, like I like do with this show so far, like even when it does crazy things like that, or like him like why can he hear this, whatever. I know they're gonna have an answer to all these things because like for every crazy thing they've done, they have like a reason. Even if it's crazy, they have like a reason to explain it. And so far, I've been like satisfied with just the show seems more like thoughtfully told from a story perspective than I honestly would have thought. Or that I would even think if you just explained to me like AI robots are stealing people's brains to replicate themselves and attack them.
Yep. And kind of build up their intelligence because they mentioned like, oh, but we use our technology to know like half of them are gone. Where it's like, no, actually a bunch of them are just kind of hiding way in the back where your scanners can't, but trust me, I know they're there.
And
I can hear them.
It's kind of been set up in the sense that we already knew that this whole thing was like a hive mind built from a human brain, like a human anatomy and human whatever. So like it's kind of been set up that the AI are already being run from like a human brain that they could like, I don't know, learn to do more with that, to keep themselves going or whatever. It's like
yeah. And just another like conflict thing is obviously to come up is Ray mentioning my brother died, and then kind of mention I'm looking for him, and Lena's like, but wait, he's dead. You said he was dead. It's like he is, and then
for the brain.
Yeah, and he mentioned like the commanders later, and I think okay, his brother's brain's being probably used for that, and he knows because he can hear.
Yeah.
Yep.
That guy's life must be hell.
Yeah.
I guess he's earned his emo boy status. He gets to be the emo boy of the group because if he's hearing people's like dead memories.
Yeah, the moment that people die constantly, all day, every day.
Literally, their death rattles in their head. Thousands. Constantly.
Seems like he should be constantly saying, sorry, what did you say?
Yeah.
Sorry, I can barely hear you. There's a lot going on, huh?
Nah, if they're far away, it's just a mumble. You just...
It's like a fly going by here constantly.
No, don't kill mom. Shut up. God,
fuck your mom, man. I've been hearing about
I
this.
hate when that dude's close. He's always so loud.
Oh, guys, it's the ones who die when they're having sex again.
Yeah, there's that one guy that like was really giddy off on dying. It's like, oh god.
The one who climaxed as he died. I hate that dude. He's the worst.
Oh boy.
Last thing, I still think the combat and action and stuff is really cool in this show.
Yeah. Like you were saying earlier, the fact that it's so sparse probably means they saved up the budget for ideas for like the combat, so they go all out.
Say the animation to the combat's really good. That's mostly because they take liberties in animation in other places where it's just very, very simple, and then whenever it comes to the action, they can just like spend all their time that are doing it. Plus, it's like really, really well done CG. So it's like they could also like they had more time to do it with the CG. So nice.
Yep.
I'm enjoying it.
Indeed. All right, now let's see how much we enjoyed Megalo Box Nomad episode 6.
I was gonna try to do the intro thing, but I can't even remember it. I know it sounds like Spanish guitar.
I'm about to say the intro sounds good, but I can never remember it until I hear it, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's it.
Yeah, it is really good. Yeah. It's not. It doesn't like stick in my head as much as the season 1 always got stuck in my head with the just like 80s like rock guys like it's like thrash metal type. He's like, I don't know. I really like the intro music. I like the intro music for all. I like all the music in Megalo Box. I also like Megalo Box.
Yeah, I think we know. Alex, I'm assuming you're saving.
No, I'm actually double saving.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
So we can't kill it next week. You double saved it.
Yeah, I double saved it.
It's saved.
Well, yeah, the double save just means that next week I don't get a vote.
Dang.
That's where my save goes.
What if it gets really bad next week?
Then we both better like feel like it's worth going.
Yeah, I was about to say if that's the
Bring it
case,
off the
I don't know.
What happened?
A lot of things. Joe throwing a match.
Yes, okay.
Some
yeah.
gangsters coming to a restaurant. Sachi
Right.
would be like, fuck your shit. And then, unsurprisingly, they come back and trash the place and take the deed. Apparently, taking a deed, like stealing a deed, just is an easy way just to own a place.
Did they take the deed, or did they already technically own the building?
No, they actually took the deed from the guy.
Okay,
the kid.
okay.
Yeah, they were just like
Yoink.
dudes. They were just dudes in the place that, like, which I'm sorry, but I'm like, people, they should be like way more mad at Sachiro than they are. It's like, of course they're gonna come retaliate when you go and like bash this thug's head with a glass bottle. It's like, you're lucky they didn't come and kill your cook friend. I'm like, Sachiro, you're a fucking idiot. Like, calm the fuck down for 3 seconds. It's like, I don't know, but.
And yeah, because of it, to get the deed back, Joe did what he said he would never do.
Yes.
For a match.
But again, I think this is another example of like really cool storytelling with like season 1 was very much the like boxing honor and like everything, and they played it straight. It didn't really like, it wasn't even really a commentary on it. It was you're throwing matches, you're like, those are the worst people that like doing that or whatever. And it's like the honorable people like fight the whole time or whatever. And then season 2 is very obviously showing it's like, okay, but this is a fucking game. And it's like, this is life or death, Yeah. It's like, if this can save people's lives or whatever, who the fuck cares about your boxing honor if it means that someone's gonna like live or die or like getting better. So it's like, and I think Chief kind of showed that too. Like it's like,
Yep.
I think the boxing, which is the best thing they possibly could have done. The boxing is like, this is almost a commentary on season 1 in a way. Like, at least it feels to me, where it's like boxing like victory story is not really everything. Like, there's way more important things than boxing, basically.
Point where like, yeah, will this end on a big boxing match? Do they have to win? Who knows? We're halfway through the season.
Alex, what did you think about this week?
Oh, it was good. It was very, very good. I don't know what to say because it's just every week they just come and it's just good. What am I supposed to say? What am I supposed to do? The music's good. They have good animation. Like, it's just good.
Yeah.
Good. Megalo Box, make more errors so I can complain.
Alex, we don't have to complain on this show.
Yeah, Alex only knows.
I know
how
exactly. It's too perfect. There's nothing to critique.
I mean, where do we think this is going as far as Joe and them? Like, they're obviously going to like cross paths again. I mean, they're probably going to cross paths immediately, but like, like I still like wonder where Sachiro is going in this. Where Joe obviously helped them and he's leaving, but it's like, there's still not that like central goal here that I see.
I don't know.
Yeah, I really don't know either.
Guess we did
Again, I have my guess for the end of the season is still the same, but my guess maybe Joe tries to restart nowhere. Not necessarily maybe under the name, but maybe he tries to start a new boxing facility or something, or training facility. It's my only guess, but there's literally like, it's so open.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Last episode left us with nothing, no strands, no leads.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's kind of been the structure of the entire season is to like never really give you that much. Like you're simultaneously really interested to know what's happening, but like we really haven't had that many breadcrumbs to like. I mean, aside from
Compared to our next show, which is all breadcrumbs.
but aside from the Pops, like the mystery of like what happened to him and everything, that's been like really one of the only like ongoing what happened here
Well,
things.
and kind of, I guess one thing that they answered here, like at the end, is kind of why Joe left.
Yeah.
It was like Sachi's like, get away from me, like get away from us.
It
And
also makes sense. Like all the other kids as well are mad at Joe for leaving. Sachio is the only one that's really upset about how he treated Pops, etc. And that makes a lot more sense.
Yeah. Well, I also like how one the girl was kind of
the same thing.
was like, well, yeah, but he didn't have to listen to a kid.
That was I was like it seemed like a simple line, but that one line kind of saved the whole thing for me because I mean y'all could probably expect that like when I heard but he left because Satoru told him to. I was like, all right, fuck, are we really going to like rip away any sort of blame from Joe for anything? It's like I was prepared to be upset, but like I was glad that it was vocalized that she was like, okay, yeah, but like a fucking kid told him to leave and he but he abandoned all of us. It's like he's a grown ass man. I'm like, okay, thank you.
Also, something you learned in the last 2 episodes. That kid is a girl. Because, when they're young, they might have verbalized it. I thought it was just another boy.
Yeah, I didn't know.
Honestly, yes, Sam. I kind of, like, I couldn't tell based off, obviously, name or how they acted.
It would be funny if they just decided when the girl was like, we'll make this one a girl. We technically haven't said their gender.
No one will question it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was true. I was like, okay, you can have that with Satoru to have like the thing, like he left because of that, but I was like, yeah, please don't act like that's like a legit reason to abandon everyone. It's like, come on. It's like, I would have been upset if that was the reason.
Like they all were like, oh, really? Oh, Joe, you did nothing wrong.
Which I mean, there's a lot of anime that would have done that.
Yeah,
and they could have just played it like that. No, that's kind of what I was expecting, honestly, when I first heard that. But
yeah, and now like Joe's using that as a necessarily saying like, but Sachio did. It's like, yeah, I mean, Joe's like not trying to make excuses for it.
Yeah,
and if he's,
it's interesting. Like I feel like ever since he left Chief, we kind of haven't gotten Joe's perspective on things in a way. Like it's been kind of removed. It's been like Joe like comes in the scenes and he's like a part of it, but we've been way more focused on the kids and everything. So it's like I kind of don't even know exactly how Joe feels about all this. Like he feels like he doesn't deserve forgiveness, so like, he definitely has that whole thing. But he still, you know what I mean. Like I feel like we're due some Joe time. Some like what is Joe? Where's Joe's heads at on everything?
I can see us getting kind of not necessarily experimental, but something like next episode or the one after, or something in the next couple of episodes. Yeah, just a pretty much all Joe episode, at least as far as main characters.
Yeah, I guess just like before we stop, because we don't really have a lot to say clearly about just this episode, but like, I mean, what do y'all think about? Do you think we are heading? Do you think Megalo Box Season 2 will be the end of this? Like, do you think that the pace we're going and the way the story is going, that like we're gonna get to a wrapped up thing here or whatever? Or do you think this is,
it might leave it open for Megalo Box 3, but I'm expecting like Megalo Box 1 because that show ended at the time. Like, I don't think they might have had ideas for like a 2, but I don't think they had like for sure things. Imagine they have the same mindset for this.
Yep, I figured this is going to be a self-contained story to where if they want to, they can do a 3, but if they don't, it's fine if they don't because the story itself.
Yeah, I will say, depending how this ends, I hope it's Joe's not the main character. May a grown-up Sachio, depending how this goes, would be in a potential Megalo Box 3. But we'll talk about that potentially when we get to the end.
For sure.
Because I didn't even expect I didn't exactly need or want a Megalo Box 2 when it came out. When it was announced, like, okay, cool, but I'm curious if they go with it. And we've talked about, I'm thrilled with the direction.
Not where I expected, but very happy.
Yep. Well, let's see if we're happy where Odd Taxi went this episode.
That's not the shape of that one.
All right, Alex, where are you at with Odd Taxi?
I'm going to do the one with the S.
Well, technically they're both on.
Wait, what did he say?
He said he's doing the one with the S.
Oh, okay.
Fine, the one that ends in E.
Okay.
Scarve.
Scare. He's gonna scare them all. Yeah, Darby and I obviously we're saving as well. We're saving our little Walrus boy. Because that may or may not be a Walrus. We'll get more into that.
Who the fuck's in this man's house? Like, I'm getting concerned. I don't want to know who's in his house. We just get
It's
like
a dead body.
We get a stray shot at like his closet. I'm like, I want to know. I want to know before it's too late for my emotional well-being.
Okay, Jeff. Okay, I went back and watched that scene where he's talking to the dog in the taxi. He does when he mentions the calico cat. He doesn't look super surprised, but I will. So about the like and everyone being like animals in his head theory. But I will say in this episode, whenever he did mention be able to pick people out of the crowd, it's like, yeah, I don't know why it's so hard for everyone else. I'm like, well, yeah, that kind of seems like the animal theory. He sees everyone as animals.
Didn't think about that.
No, I thought about that immediately.
Yeah, that's the first thing I thought.
And also, I will bring this up because I'm sure some people might have thought about it at the end where the idol girl was talking to Horseman. She mentioned horse face, but that is a
she
saying.
didn't say horse. Yeah, she did not say horse.
Oh,
I was watching it the entire time, just trying to see if I can catch anything, and those are the only two things. I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah, as far as I know, that is the only non-Otaka or whatever referencing an animal. But again, that's a saying.
Yeah, and I could see it. There's like, because there's like just enough. There's like Gariki. It's like, okay, gorilla or whatever. But it's not like everyone has names like that or something to where it's like, oh, this is just an animal kingdom. It's like things like the horse face and the other things. It's like those could easily just be connections that Odokawa makes in his mind for people or whatever. And then Gariki is obviously makes it. If this guy's last name is Gariki, then he's just like, gorilla. Yeah. Could be, which that also like that points towards Odokawa has some mental something going on. So then who's in this fucking closet again?
I will also say he also makes a comment in the previous episode that hey, all idol girls look the same to me. So I can also see in his head he pictures all idol girls as cats. Because every single young cat.
And they do
like an idol.
They do all have. They are all cats, obviously. I mean, that could just be a choice, but all right. I'm getting the believer meter went up a little.
And that's gonna be a fun thing. Yeah, it's an extra thing. We're gonna say, okay, where's that meter gonna go up and down based on what is said?
That is very interesting.
Yes.
Wait, did we first see that just on Reddit or something that someone pointed that?
I saw it on Resetera, and I was like, oh, yeah.
Could certainly see that.
But besides that, man, all the plot threads and this stuff, they'd be colliding, they'd be crashing, get each other and going apart. There's a bunch of shit going on.
It's juggling so many different threads at once. Like when we had this very emotional ending on the radio guy, I'm like, that like really hit home that it's like, wow, we really are. There's like 9 different plots going on right now. They're all really strong for like even the most minor character that's like barely interacted with people. But that being said, all these are starting to interact in very cool ways at this point.
I completely forgot for the fanboy who won the lottery. I forgot till he mentioned it that Okar did give him the numbers for it. I didn't think about that last week when the picture came up.
This show is very good about like small little things coming back to being big things. Like it references itself a lot. Like there's one little moment like passing by her and like the alpaca and the gorilla. It's like, well, that's a whole big plot thing that's going on between those two. And then the lottery numbers, the guy obviously that's trying to kill him, because that was just like a random scene in the previous episode, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I want to bring up something else potentially about the animal theory just real quick. Sorry, that
Okay,
just reminded me of something I
that's
saw. When the guy was in there with the mask on, and is Dobu the baboon dude?
Yes.
Is it
Yes,
Dobu?
yeah, Dobu, yeah.
He mentioned, man, everyone thinks this is me. It's obviously not a baboon. There's a cat tail.
Yeah.
Much smaller. Okay, moving on.
That is a good point.
Yeah.
I don't know why I didn't even think about that either. I know he said that.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Oh, and also,
I mean, yeah, part of it is like hippo guy is just fucking insane. Like saying like, oh, this
Hippo
has
dude's
the...
going to get himself fucking killed.
Yes.
Hippo guy needs to calm down.
Yeah,
He's
so-
over there just trying to get likes, and he's going to get himself killed.
yep. But also what I like as far as, it kind of connecting stuff with all these plot threads, they use the whole, Tanaka, wait, what's the cat guy's name? Or the guy who's trying to kill Otokar? It's like,
I don't know.
I don't know.
I'm
Cat
bad with
dude.
Yeah.
Murderous cat dude. Getting Dobu's in particular's gun led to Dobu and Otokar kind of forming a alliance there.
Uneasy alliance.
Yeah, it's like, well, I need to get this gun back. So,
Yeah, it's really cool to see all that, like, come back around. Was I the only one that I was kind of relieved that we didn't get much of, like, Baboon Man?
Hell no, I wanted it. Give me
I
the
don't
cringe
need
into
the
it.
anxiety.
that next episode, Darby.
It's like, save me from the anxiety. It's like every
Oh,
time...
please put him in. I want a full 20 minutes of just him. Give it to me.
did you see the preview, Alex?
No, I try not to watch the previews. I don't like
Fair.
watching previews for the next episodes for any show.
Well, you might be getting your wish. May not have the full 20 minutes, but at least the first scene. Leave it at that. But they did show him a little bit with the whole taking out, it looks like another loan and looking at rings.
In loan sharks, there's not like a bank. He was with loan sharks.
It's just so obvious that you got to go so downhill so fast.
He was looking at rings too.
Like this show has a great is a great balance of being kind of like funny, having like a cool mystery, and then also just having like fucking anxiety, because there's also like the mystery kiss guy who's obsessed or whatever. He's like, yeah, I won the lottery, I'll put it all over line, all over everything. I'm like, oh my god, this guy's gonna get killed too. It's like everyone's just like everyone's advertising, please come kill me.
And we've kind of been talking about and I'm okay with them not doing it at this point. It'll just make it hit harder. Like, where's the line the show will cross on things? Like
we
when
don't know.
When the guy went into the club with a gun, I'm like, is someone gonna die here?
And I think that it's strong. Even if they never cross that line, they want you to think they will.
Yeah.
And I think that is powerful. It is powerful that in this show, it's like, and I think this show did do a little bit of subversion, because at the beginning of the show, it kind of seemed like it was, very chill in this taxi cab, kind of like weird eccentric thing or whatever. I never would have expected that we were like a killer is on the loose trying to do this, and drug deals and all the different plot threads that are going on in the show. I did not expect to be the case. So I think that they are kind of like playing with your expectations to be like, yeah, you don't really know. You don't know what's going to happen in this show. Like anything really could. And there's definitely very like heavy stuff that's being like hinted at and built up at. Like the guy like getting further and further and further in debt to loan sharks is scary. And then like, so this is another older man, very younger girl relationship seems to be going on with Pop
No,
Idol.
he seems like he's a lot younger in comparison to like Baboon dude. It looks like he's probably in his like early 20s, like horse guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, because his partner he's working with, the Warhog, he's older. He's probably like 40s, 50s.
I was thinking it was like 30s and then like 18 is what I was thinking.
It looks like it's like probably like 19, 20 with maybe a 24, 25-year-old. Because young horse guy who's actually kind of like getting success at a young age, while you have old Warhog man who's older, working as a waiter and still can't really get his comedy career going.
I like with the Warthog, like as far as him trying to act badass against Cat Gun guy, whatever idol fan. It's like, what do you think would happen? I thought getting shot would be funny.
It'd be good content.
Anything's content.
It's true.
I mean, could you not see a streamer going out
Yes,
there,
I
running
could.
up to a hostage situation for the clicks? I absolutely.
Yes, I can see it seems like a Logan Paul situation.
Absolutely.
And then them trying to spin it like they're like some like god or saint trying to stop them.
Absolutely. Yep. I feel like there's probably another plot thread that we're like missing because there's just like
Yeah,
too
I'm
much
trying to
going
think.
on in these episodes at this point. But like, I am like still really into it. And like
Otokara talking to Alpaca Girl.
yeah. Again, I think the writing is very good in this too. Again, because it's like it's not necessarily just that. Like obviously he has feelings for her, and it, like that's like almost kind of cliche, that whole part. But I think like the writing in the scenes or whatever. Even if like he's shunning her away, but he's really gonna get back to her, feels cliche. The actual writing doesn't, you know.
Mm-hmm.
It's like her as a character. She's not just like completely like. There's obviously a lot to her. She's not just like a saint, and but she's also not like completely eternally. I don't know. I just think they feel like very real characters to me.
Mm-hmm.
Great.
Alrighty then. I guess we will move on
Still
to the Shadow's house. Bam, bam, bam.
Yeah, I routinely forget that. Isn't the actual name of the house the anime Shadow's house?
It is.
With an extra S. Yeah, I always just call it Shadow House.
Yeah.
Shadow's house.
Shadow House just sounds better
It does.
coming off the tongue.
I'm in agreement.
All right, Alex. How do you feel about those little girls and little boys?
I'm going to saves.
You're gonna shave the girls? That's
Yeah,
weird.
shave the girls.
How
Shave
can
the
they be
dolls.
good faces?
No
if you
hairy
shave
dolls
them?
for me. I like clean cut dolls.
Derby and
Well, the
arrows.
fact that you have to shave the dolls is probably a good indication that they're not dolls.
Yeah, no eyebrows or hair for me, please. I need my dolls looking like me to be my face.
Yes. This is one of those episodes that when it was over, it's like, wait, it's over? But I felt
Yeah, it was-
I felt weirdly satisfied.
Oh, yep.
Yeah, I do think it's a little more still leading us on breadcrumby than I thought it was going to be honest, like with the whole debut thing or whatever. I was expecting a little bit more in the sense of answers and stuff. It felt like debut part 1 is what it felt like. Yeah, okay. It's like, I mean, but we are ending off in we're going into this garden, the next one's called whatever garden. It's like, okay, we're obviously advancing. Like
Everyone's and all that kind of stuff.
yeah,
later.
everyone's together. They've been separated. The guy has been very like, fuck out of here, dolls. Like very hostile to them. So it's like, don't get me wrong, I'm really enjoying it, and I think we are heading to somewhere or whatever. But I did expect maybe a little more this episode. I don't know, but it was really good.
I know, this is about what I thought at least the first part of the debut would be. It was just kind of like not really saying much, but at the same time, just like giving just super vague hints, just because this is what the show's always been. I feel like either this episode, not this episode, next episode, probably be the big like. I say big answer giver. I'm pretty sure it's going to answer like one while opening up like 20 more. But
Yeah.
And I'm satisfied with it.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I really liked the pace of the show and everything. It was just and I think this is probably the most excited I've been about the end of an episode into the next one until I know what's gonna happen. And it is getting like it again. I don't think this show is ever going to be gory, crazy horror like that. But like the questions that are being, and I don't want it to be either. But the questions that it's asking, like I think are just very interesting, and it's getting very like ominous. There's still a lot we don't know, and like yeah, that's cool.
one of the things I really like is just showing all the Shadow Masters and showing all their personalities and how literally none of them are like the same. All of them are like a very like different type of like a person.
Yeah, that's
like they're not like carbon copies of each other where they're just all like super strict or like or super timid, etc.
Yeah.
Interesting scene.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just kind of that. See how they do, and just relationships between Shadow Master and the dolls. How they're different between all of them. Some of them are kind of more friendly towards each other, and some of them are just pretty much master servant.
And like, but all of them in some way are like either purposely or not purposely going against what they're supposed to be, because they're supposed to be those carbon copies. They're supposed to be identical, and some of them are trying, some of them are not, but none of them are. Like Alex said, like some of them are frustrated that they're not, but like they're all. It's very clearly showing that it's like, no, you're all individual people. It's like you're trying. They're trying to grill you into being a clone slave person or whatever. But like, try as you might, you're different people.
Yeah, and as far as like making the Shadow Masters different, I also really like the scenes shown before, like the dude who was. Well, yeah, we'll get to that. The one in the the dude in the last episode, the one who needed glasses.
Mm-hmm.
I really liked the Shadow Master who had glasses on. It was like, yeah, I'm gonna do this so you can wear yours. And they went back on that a little bit because the doll was kind of like, but I need to reflect you. And he's like, yeah, I guess you're right, but I do like that.
Yeah,
like everyone has a different relationship with their doll. It's not like. The same. Every doll has like a different understanding of like what they're expected to do.
Yeah, I love the asshole doll and like his like it's as far as like Daria mentioned, the dolls and the Shadow Masters, the personalities can be very different, but I like how one of them they are very similar. They're both just kind of assholes in kind of different ways.
Yeah.
Yep.
There's a lot of subtlety between like these different, because it's basically one giant character study so far. You know, that's what the entire show has been, and that's very interesting. And I also like that at the very beginning of this, you probably all thought it seems like Kate knows everything because she's acting like high and mighty, and she's like the one that Emilico is like in service to, and that's about all you get for the first like 2 episodes, even kind of 3 episodes. But then, like, now as it's gone on, you realize, like, the shadow people, they don't know what the fuck's going on either. They barely know more than the dolls as far as, like, how the debut works, how this house works, how any of this stuff works. And, like, they're not that far up the totem pole than the dolls, it seems like, in a lot of ways. And it's been cool, like, kind of, like, slowly peeling that back and be like, okay, Kate's only acting like this because this is, like, the way you're supposed to act. She doesn't actually really know why she's acting this way or why she's kind of realizes
it's like, you know what? Emilico's fine as she is and all that kind of stuff. And I'm kind of glad they went ahead and she used, I guess, her powers with controlling the suit, because I completely forgot that she could do that.
Yeah.
When the dance is like, oh yeah, she can do that. That's supposed to be special. Like, and that was a nice, cute way to introduce that as well.
Yeah, and they said that
to
very
reintroduce it at least.
Yeah, well, I think that was a really clever way of getting past that. They've referenced way too many times, obviously, that the Emilico's like stuffed chicken doll or whatever is full of soot. Yes. So it's like, I want to know what the fuck's going to happen with it. Like,
I've been waiting for that ever since they introduced the little soot creatures. I was like, oh yeah, that thing's full of soot.
Rolly, no!
It's one of those, it was like, it definitely seems like that's somewhere they could have gone the second they introduced those. And then now, since they've brought it up like 3 times.
Well, and it's jumped around already.
And it's jumped around already. So it's like, this is obviously like, when is this going to like, and like, what is this going to mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
It feels like it's probably going to be something big, potentially fucked up. I don't know.
I like how every Shadow Master has a different like reaction to being like aggravated, nervous, etc. Like one was making a cloud. Like Kate just has her little soot like pillar that comes off of her.
Yeah.
There was I'm just trying to remember. There was someone else was doing something. I thought that was pretty interesting. Just seeing all their different reactions.
Yes, for sure. Yep. I'm still enjoying it, for sure.
Yeah. Well, something Alex brought up that I think we should mention before we move on is Mia's situation. Mia's the one in Emilico's group. that whose Shadow Master whips her.
Oh yes, yeah.
That's fucked up.
She might have a strict one, maybe a little strict.
Well, and we saw like after the second episode or whatever it was, she go in and she's just like visually upset to where she will probably snap at some point.
When we saw all the scars on her back
Yeah.
a few episodes back, or
Yeah,
whatever,
that
when
and
they had,
just
like,
the way her
bath.
room is herself itself is all messed up because her Shadow Master is kind of messing it up.
Yeah, and you got that from like just how much of an arrogant asshole she was when they met in the like garden or whatever in episode 2 or 3 or whatever it was. And, yeah, I think that is also a little indicator that it's like, again, I don't think the show's gonna get like crazy like scar you for life horror, but I also think that there's like little hints like that it's like, okay, this also isn't just like kid friendly horror. Like this is going to get into some like heady stuff or whatever. It's not just going to be completely like, for the most part, squeaky clean horror. It's like it's going to get into some things. Yeah. So.
Indeed.
Yep.
Alrighty.
Very interesting.
Time to move on to Super Cub.
Super.
Oh,
Every time.
super.
Every time.
Every time.
Until it's killed.
These things do not erase very well at this point. All right, I'm ready.
Darby, you should just use your illusionary magic to just write over the whiteboard.
You're right. I do have. I always forget. I forget I have it. If you can believe that.
Yeah, I know. It uses spell slots. That's the reason.
I have so many magic missiles saved up. Just waiting. To use them.
Yeah.
All right,
That
Alex.
sucks. It's going to scar it like that bite going up the mountain.
To the gazelles.
Oh.
Yep, it's time.
It's time.
Scarring it.
I'm with you.
It's a weird thing where
This
I feel
was a
that
silly episode. This was a real silly episode.
It's silly.
It was real silly. It was just her going up the mountain and falling to really unfitting music.
It was.
when it started like the more metal thing, I was like, yeah, let's go. Oh, it's kind of weird that we're Alex and I were talking about it might be time to move on if it just kind of kept doing the same thing, but then when it kind of does something different, that's when we're like, okay, it's time to go.
But I mean, it was kind of different. Is how I would. That's
what I said,
kind of, yeah. I mean, it is a charming show and it has merit to it for sure. But the fact that we are probably halfway through it is it's time. Like
I haven't been saying episode
We're only
counts.
about
Most
halfway
of them
through.
are episode 5. This is episode 5.
Yeah, so less than halfway probably.
Yeah. Based on the preview title, we might finally get that third character that's in the opening and all that shit. Finally.
Yeah. It's just like it's like I would rather watch Eurocamp. Eurocamp's a lot more fun. it's if I'm going for like the just warm jolly vibes, it is like way too slow. Like I said, I think like a short film.
If this show had a little bit more comedy to it and then hit me with the warm vibes, I would be more down. Like the show itself is kind of dry, then warm vibes, dry, then warm vibes, and it's just like, okay, that's fine for a little bit.
Yeah.
I just got like last episode was for me. I was just like, okay, like this episode, I was actively like a couple minutes into it. I was just kind of like doing the tapping, just like, let's just get it going. Let's just go. This one was the first one I was actively just kind of wanting it to end as quickly as possible.
I'm there. I mean, there is another show on this list I want to kill more than this, but I am there. Wait,
I don't know what show that is.
What could it be?
I don't know.
But I'm there with you. Like, and it's like one of those things. Like I said, short film would have been the thing because I think there's times like we were saying. I think most of those times were in the first episode where it's like the music hits just right, and the visuals are simple, but they're like really strong, and it like captures an emotion, and it's really good. But I think this was not meant to be a full season of anime, because there's also the further we get into it, for every shot there is like that, there's a shot that's like really bad, kind of like just phoned in animation that's like obviously the budget's wearing thin here in the middle, and it'll like it fluctuates between those two things way too much. You know, there's like some shots of her like turning with her bike where I'm like, oof. Ugh. So I think like a short Honda ad is probably the direction it should. I think it could have been like a cool like animation short thing that would have like captured, like done that like heavy piano, maybe stay away from whatever they were trying to do musically in this episode, and just have like that really cool, the great piano that was early on in it, and like have like a cool tone piece, and like cut out a lot of the shit and have like a coming of age, like a very short coming of age story with the cool music and everything else that just ends with like ambiguous, like she's like grown up some, and like and you move on, like maybe 30 minutes, 40 minutes, something like that, like maybe even an hour, but it's like a short thing like that. I think
well, even not going that short, maybe going the mindset as far as like episode length. If this was more like a Netflix kind of or it was like on something like Netflix where it could do this, like Anagratsuko or Way the House Husband, where it's just shorter,
or that
like by choice, where it might be like 10 to 15-ish minutes an episode, so that'd cut out like 8 plus minutes or something per episode.
I think that also would be, I think it would be a lot more strong. I think there is something here, but certainly not enough to carry it the rest of the way that it has to be carried. It's like, certainly not. So I mean, I don't hate that that's all what we saw, but I am ready to get off the train. Off the cup. I am ready to get off the cup.
Yes. Sorry, we couldn't let you.
Thank you for not letting me just like butcher that. But also, can we just like, before we leave, this is the last time we get to talk about Super Cup or whatever, can we just appreciate that this is like straight up like, I guess it's not Pokemon because not everyone, but at least like these two girls is like Pokemon in the sense that it's like all these two girls talk about is Honda Super Cubs. All they talk about there, like they live and breathe.
Girls only care about one thing, and it's absolutely disgusting.
It's true. All that oil and shit. Ugh.
Dude, every time I tried to talk to Olivia here, all she wants to talk about is her fucking cub, and I'm like, what the fuck?
Like I would kind of appreciate it more if it was Pokemon and literally every single character that we met was obsessed with Honda Super Cubs and Honda oil.
Only the best.
Honda's the only car dealership in the world. It's just like everyone is like fucking obsessed.
And then they battle the Cubs and the potions. Different kind of potions of different brands.
Yeah. What kind of oil do you have in? Oh, you'll never win. Yeah. Well.
All right.
Goodbye, Super Cub. Probably.
Maybe. We will find out. Time to talk about Tokyo.
Is there a ghost?
Yes. It's the ghost of BB.
Yeah. Oh, she's back. Did you watch the next episode?
Thank you for our pleasure.
I have not, because I just got to all these shows last night.
Oh my god, what a binge.
Well, Dario's the same way.
Yeah,
I mean, we watched Megalo Box on Sunday, but
I honestly forgot what we were talking about. I was starting to write the wrong thing. Oh wait, no, it starts with the S. They both starts with the S. Okay. Okay.
All right, Alex.
Y'all probably did not know this, but last week, that wasn't me. That was future me coming 12 years from the future. Come back to the past to say save.
Oh, shit.
But now this is actual me saying, yeah, sure, we'll save it. Why not?
Damn it.
Cool. Why not? Let's do it.
This was a meta vote.
Hey!
No, so Darby, before you get heads up too much, I did a meta vote.
Damn it, I should have saved Super Cub. We could have done the fucking the wheel. I honestly thought about it, but I was like, will one of them want to? I thought there was a chance. I thought there was a chance.
No. Let me finish. I actually want to save this, but this was our last chance for the wheel. So I wanted to take that chance because I figured if Alex wanted to scar it, it'd be gone next week anyway. So fuck it.
That's my thinking. It's like I kind of want Super Cub out, and Tokyo Revengers isn't like offensive to me, and I kind of enjoy watching it, even though it's definitely the worst of all the shows that are going to be left.
Yeah, I'm glad we can agree on that.
Oh yeah, of course. It's just like super dumb fun currently. It's just like I turn my brain off, and then there's a boy yelling. And
I'm really upset because I thought there was a chance of that, and I knew that Super Cup was gonna die either way or whatever, so I really shouldn't have. But I didn't want to metagame this either, so it's like that
was a metagame pick. I would have normally picked saved.
I would really like to stop watching the show. I'll let y'all carry most of this, but this has turned from like whatever to like I really want to stop watching the show. I don't like
how
it.
about the end of the season, Darby? We could do a thing if all three people don't agree to continue a show. We don't take someone's and drag them across more seasons. Obviously.
That will be my like stipulations. If we do another season, can we please just like y'all can just watch this on your own, right?
I was thinking about that as well. I think that's a fair rule.
Yeah. The funny thing is, I don't know if I would watch this on my own. It's just fun to watch it right now.
Yeah, y'all go for it. I think it's pretty bad, but y'all go.
It's not progressing as I want it, so I will say, even though I did the metagame scar, it doesn't mean I won't scar it potentially like next week in the future. I'll make that to give you a slight hope, Darby, to maybe dash it.
Don't worry about me. Y'all talk.
Agree. This show in general, it's not like progressing like greatly. It's just like it's progressing, and it has my interest. I kind of just want to see next episode, and if next episode does not satisfy, doesn't give me the brain off, me happy, I'll kill it.
Yeah. So Darby, good news is Alex and I are both on the fence, and only one of us need to fall on your side at this point.
This is true.
Because I mean, spoilers for my 2-year eternity vote. The other 5 shows have to really fall off for me to want to.
Sorry, I promise we will talk about Tokyo Revengers, but if you were going to cut to your eternity after this week, we're not friends anymore.
Yeah.
After this particular episode, we're not friends anymore. Sorry, but y'all talking about Tokyo Revengers.
Well, the thing is, like, it has played up the whole gang thing, which I kind of enjoyed. It's kind of silly or whatever. Now it's just crossing the point to just kind of ridiculousness, in the bad way to me so far right now.
Same.
We'll see how it goes, because I'm not against the idea of it, but just the way that they are particularly done it in this episode, I'm kind of like,
That's the thing. It hasn't done enough for me to kill it yet. It's just like I really want to see the payoff episode, which is next week. I do some stuff I watch on my own. I will continue watching something even though I'm not like 100% into it, just to get see the payoff episode. If I'm not on board after that, I'm done. Like the next episode is to make it or break it for me, really.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
There's just not a single character I give a shit about, and like almost all of them actively annoy me. It's like, and the gang thing is like, I just really don't like the whole setting, and like every time they introduce another like gang, another like group of people, I'm like, okay, it's another copy and paste of the same shitty middle schoolers. I don't even know if these people are supposed to be middle schoolers anymore.
they're all middle schoolers, Darby. That's when everyone peaks.
Yep. Those are absurd. But it's like they're all the same character that's just like shitty punk guy that yells a lot, and it's like that's just like every character all the time. And like everyone's kind of like irredeemable to a certain degree, and like I think the comedy is just like really bad, I think, in this show. It's like, yeah, I don't know, like the general premise was cool at first, but I also think it's just very flimsy and just kind of like we talk about all these other shows and all these interesting things they're doing, bringing back and forth. I don't feel that in this show. Like whenever they do, I feel like the time for the concept of this show, it just feels like very weirdly like fast and loose, or just like
No, I feel like it's like
know?
stuff is just kind of happening to happen while we talk about literally any one of these other shows, and there's purpose to, no matter how ridiculous it is.
Right. I mean, I can still understand how someone kind of like the turn your brain. I have my own turn your brain off thing. This is just, I think for you to enjoy, like everyone's turn your brain off thing has to be something that they kind of like at a base level are into. And this is just like a base level thing that was like shonen things like this have to be really damn good for me to like it. So like a kind of like okay average one is just that much worse. I mean, it's just like,
I think my new turn your brain though. Brain year all thing after this. I'm getting the itching to watch that Dragon Quest anime. Let's go. Not gonna bring it here because I know Dari will not like it, even if it's good for what it is.
It's probably better than this. I want to watch Madoka Magica. We need to get to the next season. I want to watch.
I think I had. I'll mention it after the show to get the episode to see what Alex thinks. But I think I know an old anime I might bring that I've been interested in. I had an epiphany. Okay. We'll mention it afterwards. Talk about it.
I'll bring the magical girls and the sparkles.
Yeah, so we got anything else to say about Tokyo Revengers? Because we kind of been mostly talking about other stuff.
I think everyone can see the direction of where this show is probably going to go next week. But hey,
and the thing is, like, Dari's saying, like, not liking any characters. I get you. I don't really care about too many characters. Hina's cool, but that's the extent of it to me.
Even she's very one note.
Yeah,
very like
just a comparison, you know.
Yeah, I mean, she's not obnoxious to me, I suppose, but she's just like, stop messing with my boyfriend, punch. So that's her character.
And then she dies.
And then like the whole like he wakes up with the fucking girl. And it's like also like
I knew you were gonna hate that.
No, like, it was really bad. It was really bad. But also it's like they're not doing it again. Like if this was another show was dealing with the like suddenly the time travel and like the fact that his 12-year-old self, like I still don't completely know if they're like explaining what does his 12-year-old self think happened for a fucking week. Like what?
Well,
does, like
the way
2 weeks, 2 weeks, yeah.
Well, the way Hina was talking about it, it's except for the whole thing where he almost hooked up with that girl. Hina made it sound like he was kind of on autopilot. Like his 12-year-old self was kind of distant and ignoring her.
I thought that was just like his personality because he was a shitty middle schooler. But
that's what I was kind of thinking as well. It was just his personality. Like
that's what
I think he might have like came back and kind of freaked out. Like he was like, "Where have I been for 2 weeks? What the hell?"
But I feel like they should have given us something for that because like that would be fucking crazy if you just like lost 2 weeks of your life. It's like that would be way more than, and I feel like this is gonna happen over and over again. They're gonna keep flipping back, and I don't have any confidence they're gonna ever actually answer that question. I think that's just gonna be a it's like he just becomes a different person every like 2 weeks, and then that's fine or whatever. And like the fact that Hina was like, "Oh, you're the adult you today," which again is like, oh my god, like it's like how on the nose could the dialogue be? It's like. I think that shows that it's like, no, I think that's just his personality. He's just like a shitty middle schooler when he's not time traveling, you know? I don't know.
Also, like, not saying it's good when I say this, but just kind of a funny, just in general thing. It takes the 25-year-old version of this guy go back in the past to seem mature to a 12-year-old.
Yeah. But also, like my problem, like, that's a good example. If you're gonna do this, if you're gonna like, he goes back in time and it's like he's there with this like hooking up with this girl, cheating on his girlfriend and everything. So like obviously things have changed for his past self. Like the things that he's done, like this didn't happen in real life or whatever. So like the things that he has done have changed things, but we never actually really saw that. Like he should have ran into another character that like referenced something else that he did when he was back in the future for a while and came back or something to show like, oh wow, like your middle school self saw the life that you created for him and is going fucking buck wild. But I feel like we never really got like. So I don't know the answer to any of these. It's just kind of
I think their version of that, and again, not saying it's good. I think it's just what they're trying to do. Is him hooking up with that girl was technically it.
Yeah, I needed more. I don't know.
No, I don't disagree.
Yeah. Sorry, I don't want to go off too much.
And they also could show more. They also stayed very contained within just that gang meeting as well. whenever he did go back into the past.
Mhm.
Like he hadn't really seen anyone else except for this gang who he hadn't seen in a little bit to begin with.
So, Dory, did this give you hope that I might die next week?
We'll see. I mean, like y'all do what you want to do, but yes, it did give me a little more.
Okay. But Darby, did 2-year eternity give you hope?
Of course. Every time we get a 2-year eternity, it's at the end of the thing, and I always just like, do I need to pick up this freaking thing? Especially after this episode, I'm not picking up the thing. It's saved.
In protest.
Alex, if you, we're gonna have a bad talk if you're killing it after this week. Jesus.
It pulled. I'm not gonna name the show, but it pulled a different show that I also really like, where they show off a character that's older in the opening, and it's not. They don't actually make it there.
Oh,
They
yeah,
die.
that's right.
Oh, I didn't even think.
Right.
Wait,
Yeah,
who's
they
in?
did-
There's too much going on in the opening.
I kind of thought about it. I remember thinking before, and then I get about the episode. They do show Adult March in the
They
opening.
do.
They did,
Okay.
and they did that to another anime that I like. I won't mention it because next season I might bring this show whatever. But it shows like them hanging out with like the protagonists like at school and stuff. That does not happen. That
Is
does
it
not
Adult
happen.
March from that little thing they showed in this episode? Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, it's her smiling and she kind of I don't think she has a doll in her hand, but she kind of like smiles. She has her headband and everything.
Yeah.
Evil motherfuckers. Those evil motherfuckers.
They went and did it. Kids aren't safe on this show. Adults are. Kids, is your kid in the show of importance? You go and die.
I mean, kind of adults at large. I mean, that lady. I mean, she might be alive, but she's pretty fucked up. Whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Her little laugh when she got shot in the arm, looked at her, shot in the arm, like, oh god.
like, oh Jesus Christ. I want to like we're gonna just fawn over this whole thing. I mean, this is the best episode of the week. It was like, incredible. It was just absurd. It was great. But they did it fucking again, where it's like I knew what was coming a mile away, and I was still fucking crying when it happened. It's like they telegraphed it so far in advance, but they're like, we don't need you to be surprised because this is gonna be so fucking well written that you're gonna cry anyway. It's like, God, they're so good.
Yeah,
I love how whenever Marsh is just talking about her being an adult, and all of a sudden, like casually, you have her sister in the background, like just putting out a fire. It's like, really, yeah. Arrows are coming by. It's like, oh yeah, Marsh, that's neat, yeah. And just all the chaos is breaking out. And
I love
she's just
that
so
so much
oblivious.
when she's just like having a conversation with her while holding the shield up. But like just the I was about to say acting, but like the way the facial animation is something that they drew for her like after March dies and like just her completely cracking, I thought was just incredible.
yeah. Well, I was thinking for all this, like if I was going to do descriptions again, obviously I didn't. To eternity, it would simply be, we got the bear, but at what cost?
Seriously.
Get the bear.
Me and Jeff, we clapped for the bear, but we're like, fuck you, show. This is not enough. This is not enough to, like, you can't win us back over with a bear. But like, God, the emotion you feel, like the emotion that made me feel for this fucking orb man that can only say 3 words, but like whenever March dies and like he just like launches out of the thing,
He
I'm
fucking
like,
snaps.
like, oh my God, it's so good.
So I guess the thing for the orb, just real quick, there's something they might have said specifically, but maybe I just missed it, or maybe just a coincidence. So he can only turn into dead things, right?
I guess, yeah. I mean, so far everything he's turned into.
Yeah,
is
'cause
the-
Yeah,
Because
so
the
far.
bear, he didn't turn until after it died, and for March, he turned into her after she was dead.
yeah, so far at least,
Yeah.
yeah, that's been
Yeah.
everything he's turned into has been dead things.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's dead thing. Like, I guess it's dead things that like he has to come in contact with. I don't know what exactly that means. Like, how much does he have to come in? Does he just have to see
Well,
it?
it's like
Right.
they got to stimulate him some way.
They,
Like
they
Yeah.
keep saying stimulation.
wh-
yeah.
whether it be maybe anger or whatever with the bear, whatever that
Sorry.
battle feeling, and obviously the love for March
Yeah.
was that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's right. That's right. But yeah, the whole build up to this, even the scene with her, like I don't know, just the like how strong characters I think the sister and March are, and like what their relationship became by the end, and the fact that you slowly see like her past and everything. It's like for characters that have only been in this for like what 3 episodes.
This would be the 4th one for them.
The fourth,
Fourth,
so they're just like so well fleshed out, and I'm so happy that like this is what the show ended up being. That I think we all kind of thought that it might have been after that first episode, we were thinking it might be like 1 episode per story and then move on to another story. But I think the best thing the show could be is like little 4 to however many episodes they want arcs telling a story and then moving on or whatever.
Many episodes it needs to tell the story and then move on.
Right. Yeah. So that you
No
can like,
defined episode limit or maximum.
so it still has that kind of like Monster of the Week type of like we're gonna see a lot of different type of things going on here, but they're gonna give it enough time to breathe. Kind of like I said to Jeff when we were talking about kind of like what VV didn't do. I think this is like this is really
and
good.
I think like I'm glad it's also doing that, but it also leaves like okay, there will be stuff from past ones kind of be intertwined with later stories because what's her face, the one now the scar, she's coming back. Yes. She's going to be obsessed with that orb at this point, and Perona will probably come back at some point, hopefully, maybe.
Yeah.
In some way, shape, or form.
Yeah, I would think so.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, did everyone else just love this episode as much as I did? I think it was
of course, I've been
best
thinking about
episode of the
nonstop. Darby, I think it said something. Me and you watched all those episodes. Like, Studio Eternity was the first thing we watched. So we watched a couple really good episodes right after that. But then after that, all I could think about was this one.
Yeah. Same. Absolute same.
Despite how good 86 and Odd Taxi were.
Yeah. And I just have full faith in this show going forward because like I think it's just made to be like you could tell so many different stories. There could be a story that we get. The next story could be like completely different tone and almost unrecognizable from this one, and it would still fit. You could just kind of they've just created such an interesting writing prompt that they could just recycle over and over and over again to tell like really, really, really cool stories in a way, And I think there will be connections. Like you said, we'll get the best of both worlds. There'll be connections to it, but it's also going to be like there's going to be a whole new cast of characters that we'll probably fall in love with and everything. Now, I hope that they also, from a writing standpoint, keep it diverse enough. I don't want the show to just become Sadness Simulator. Like, everyone we come across dies and then moves on, dies, like, or at least dies in the same, like, dramatic. Because they kind of pulled the same thing twice, which was great. Mm-hmm. And I have full faith that they will keep that fresh. But, like, I guess if you made me think of what could be a concern, I suppose that could be it. Because, like, March's death and the boy's death were very similar, but I don't think that's a weakness. I think that's just
it's good shit. I don't think there was anything else this episode.
Anyone else have any?
A lot of the episode was just the death scene and the bear fighting.
Bear went ham.
Yeah, they certainly let all that breathe a lot.
Yeah, I guess we can start. We kind of talked about, but just the orb showing a lot of emotion after he turned back into the boy when Perona was about to slit her throat, and the boy like no.
Oh, all the faces the boy made afterwards was all faces that March had made throughout the entire show.
Yeah,
like I've seen a comparison. Like all 3 of his like emotional faces were all 3 straight from March.
That's so
like
awesome.
Every single face.
So also I get something else. During that same scene with the old Perona about to slit her throat thing, we see March's ghost, and that was the whole thing. Darby and I talked about it just quickly afterwards, like that thought of maybe the orb will bring her back. Because who knows what in the world it all can do.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I thought was going to happen. I thought that might be kind of weak, but I was like, yeah, who knows? You could introduce anything to this world, and it could happen or whatever. I'm kind of glad they didn't go that route right here. But, I mean, do y'all I mean, what do y'all think? Do y'all think that that was something played for dramatic effect here? Or do you think that's going to the fact that there are ghosts or whatever in this world going to come to play?
I feel like a
I think
spirit.
it's dramatic effect.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
I was like dramatic effect here. I think a spirit world or whatever ghost could play a part later. Who knows with this show?
Could?
I don't.
Yeah, could.
I don't think anything's necessarily off the table.
We see
I don't think
zombies in that.
resurrection would be a thing. Yeah, there are zombies.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah, I
But also
hope.
shamans and stuff.
yeah.
I hope they don't go down the we're bringing characters that we killed back, at least not without a very good reason, because the deaths of March and that boy are like such an emotional tether of the show so far.
I got it. The orb's going to split into 7 orbs, each one with a number of stars 1 to 7.
Orb can grant wishes
Yep.
when gathered together. Feel
It becomes a dragon that he
eternal.
saw in a
Yeah.
book.
Yeah.
Then when does Mr. Satan show up in this anime?
Darby, if you look in the background, he's been there all along.
He already reaped 2 souls from this show.
Yep.
Oh shit!
More than that, because I think Orby killed a good many people in that attack on the city.
Yeah, but we didn't care about those people.
It's true. March is all that mattered.
His KDA shot up.
It's still a negative though. It's definitely still negative.
Yes. When I said that, I wasn't even thinking about the deaths. It's like, oh yeah, he's still way in the negative.
I think his dad a lot.
Yeah, it's bullshit. The bear only died once. The bear probably killed him like 90 times.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Well, was To Your Eternity ever? I'll ask. What was everyone's favorite episode of the week? For me, it was To Your Eternity.
Yeah, to your eternity.
Probably Odd Taxi.
Oh, okay,
Yes.
nice. Odd Taxi has been my answer, and I still think Odd Taxi is overall my favorite show still so far. But I will say, I think To Your Eternity has had the higher highs. I think the highs of To Your Eternity has been like ludicrous.
I'm also just a heartless monster, and I love emotional stuff, but it's very hard to make me cry. Very.
This has been if I wasn't watching this with Jeff, I probably would have like actually cried for this one. I came very close. Yeah.
Well, R.I.P. March and R.I.P. Super Cub.
Yep. The 2 losses of this.
Last time you can do it, Alex. I guess until our wrap-up episode where we'll probably mention it.
Yeah, it might win Best Cub.
Yes.
Yeah, Best Cub Award. I don't know if Orb finds a place with like high technology and he can ride a cub. I think he might take it.
Or just an adorable bear cub.
Yeah. Oh yeah, true.
Mm-hmm.
I will say, I did notice this week. Best mug. We have some contenders, baby. 86, 3 mugs. Lena had a mug, her friend had a mug, and Reaper or Undertaker had a mug. That's 3 mugs that we could put in best mug. 4, because Let's Make a Mug was on the show for a
You're
week.
right.
And
Wait,
we saw
Super
one
Cub
mug.
had to have a mug there. I think they had hot shot.
I think she did.
Yeah.
All right. We got a category, boys.
Let's go.
I'm gonna have to go back and like take pictures of all these mugs. Though.
Actually,
Please, because I'm definitely not.
you have to go through every single one of the episodes for all these shows.
Oh God, no! I just remember that they're here this week, so
Make sure you mark it down.
Those are the mugs you get. Yes.
Oh boy.
Well, thank you guys so much for watching episode 5 of Anime Gauntlet. Catch us at twitch.tv/NerdsLargeGaming every week, youtube.com/NerdsLargeGaming for the VOD. And we'll be back next week. Peace.
Bye.
It's a bad time for rain, apparently.